106th graduating class. Members of this class have been selected to receive high honors for their academic and co-curricular achievements. The class of 1991 should be very proud of these accomplishments, which will benefit them in their preparation for new challenges and opportunities ahead. I have one very good piece of news that I can announce at this time. Our 1991 State Girls Golf Champions are Richfield. Another fine accomplishment on the part of our young people. The staff and administration of this outstanding school are very proud of each and every one of you here tonight. We are here tonight to honor and recognize you for the many years of work and dedication in meeting the requirements for graduation set forth by the Board of Education and the state of Minnesota.
Prize
the past 36 years, Richfield has been very fortunate to have many outstanding students. The class of '91 is no exception. Tonight, 3 of our truly outstanding academic students will provide our commencement addresses. I would like to introduce Susan Vanderberg, Carrie Melsmoen, and Jessica Olson. They will be appearing in that order. They have chosen as their topic tonight, "We May Never Pass This Way Again." The students have been advised by Ms. Marie Obley. Susan Vanderberg.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's see. I've got my cap and my gown, and here's my tassel. Well, every strand of hair is in place, and I have the same kind of shoe on both feet. My relatives have all been notified, and my friends are here. But something just isn't quite right. Wait a minute, I know what it is. I'm standing up here instead of sitting with the rest of my class. But I've been given this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Take a moment, if you will, and think about the changes that occur in our daily lives. There's the weather, news, styles, the lottery total, all of which can easily change overnight. However, some things take years to change, like our attitudes and values. Let your minds wander back to when you first began school and everything was new. Kids you'd probably never met before, teachers, the classroom, room mothers, recess, just to name a few. Everything we did and everyone we came in contact with would someday have a great impact on us, although we probably didn't realize it at the time. We were much too busy wondering what color crayon to use next and what song we were going to sing. However, even as 5- and 6-year-olds, we were starting to develop attitudes and values. Some of these attitudes and values would be reinforced and strengthened, while others would change drastically as we grew and matured. Some of the changes that took place over the years were a result of our peers who had an incredible amount of influence on us. Can you imagine what it would have been like to not own a pair of Guess jeans in junior high? Or to let the wall bangs fall? In order to fit in, we were expected to follow the attitudes and values of our peers. This is much like a game of checkers. Each one of us is a player, and the squares on the board represent changes. We move our game pieces to obtain the changes we want in our lives. We may find a direct route to some changes, but for others, we may have to work around to get to that change which is right for us. Then there are always the opponents who try to prevent us from pursuing success. Unfortunately, some of these opponents were our peers. They didn't want us to make changes that would help us become an individual. Instead, they wanted to block our path and convert us into being like them and sharing their attitudes and values. Cliques are a perfect example of this. They started forming long before we knew the meaning of the word. Everyone had a special group of friends, which included many acquaintances. There were basically 3 kinds of cliques: popular, unpopular, and middle of the road. No matter which one you were in, you were forced to convert to a certain degree, and ultimately, the amount you were willing to convert to find which clique you were in. Luckily, all of this segregation was soon to end as our attitudes and values changed. As freshmen, we came in with our junior high attitudes and discovered that our ways of thinking and acting were very different from those of the other senior high students. In fact, they weren't only different, but in many cases unacceptable. Faddish clothes and hairstyles no longer made a person who he or she was, but instead, the actual personality and talents of the person were important. This is when a new kind of attitude emerged. It suddenly became cool to be unique, and with this atmosphere, people started to shine. The people who received good grades in school were encouraged to work harder because they were accepted. People with musical abilities joined choir and band and tried out for the musicals because they were accepted. Athletes were given more opportunities and more fans accepted them and cheered them on. We all started to realize that everyone possesses talents and abilities that are special and should be shared with others. Part of the sharing came by way of school events such as pep fests, talent shows, various concerts, art shows, scholastic awards, and recognition banquets. The more we learned about each other, the closer we became. This closeness could be described as respect and admiration that would never change, because we realized that diversity in people makes the world go round. Everyone is a unique person, and we should all respect that in each other. Perhaps our new attitude is one of the most important things we learned through our high school years. As Seals and Croft said, we may never pass this way again, but we shouldn't forget everything we've learned. The new attitude and values we've learned should be remembered and practiced as we go into the world. Thank you. Now I'd like to present Carrie Muslim.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Sound familiar? I'm sure it does to anyone who has studied William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Contemplating whether he should struggle through some misfortunes and live, or end everything and die, taking the easy route. Hamlet questions his future, and many of us ponder the same question of to be or not to be. Let's consider what the question might be asking. To be is not just merely existing physically. It is having courage. Courage to be an individual. Courage to gain knowledge. And most of all, courage to take the chance. Christopher Columbus ventured into the unknown, the sea filled with monsters, the sea that supposedly ended into nothing. But he took a chance. He believed in himself. He knew there would be dangers and obstacles to overcome, but he was confident he could reach his goals by facing these dangers and obstacles. He cast his fears aside and took the chance, and he discovered a whole new world. Taking chances means doing something that could change the way you live or make a better world. It means putting your fears and doubts aside and making a difference. Sometimes the results are so small that they are not noticeable. However, all of these small results do add up. In the song We May Never Pass This Way Again by Seals and Croft, it is said, like the twilight in the road up ahead, they don't see just where we're going. All the secrets in the universe whisper in our ears, and all the years come and gone. Many times in our lives, we'll find that our future is dark, unknown, and scary. The answer to our question, to be or not to be, is in that dark and unknown territory. We have to make decisions on what paths to follow to find our answers, and it's not always easy. It is very tempting to hop on the shorter, easier route where there's a lighted outcome, but it's not always the best way. Doubts enter our heads, but that's part of taking a chance. We may be scared and don't really know what's in store for us in the next 4 years, but we have to try and put our fears aside. We need to take the chance and overcome obstacles and fears in hopes that we may someday find those secrets in the universe. A very special person told me a couple years ago that he always goes by his gut instinct to help make decisions. He told me that no matter what anybody else says, that feeling inside is always right. At first, I didn't believe there was such a thing. But experiences with decisions this year has proved he was right. It is important to listen to yourself, because you're the one that has to live with the decisions your whole life. Outside influences like friends, parents, and teachers can help, but they shouldn't get in the way of your decision. We have to listen to our own gut instinct to tell us what's best for us. Plunging into the dark and unknown can light up more paths and open more doors to knowledge. By taking the dark and unsure path, you can learn from mistakes and fears. You learn to make the best of situations. On that journey down the path of life, you ask questions, directions, and guidance. You learn to relate with people. You also learn how to deal with the emotions of loneliness, grief, happiness, and joy. You learn how to be yourself. On the darkest turns of life, you sometimes lose hope and reach dead ends. But then you see a glimmer of light and find a solution. You gain confidence, knowing that by trying, there is no end to what you can do and learn. As you graduate today and move on, remember that you can't gain anything unless you try. Amanda Bradley expresses this perfectly in the following poem. Follow your dreams. Take one step at a time. Don't settle for less. Just continue to climb. Follow your dream. If you stumble, don't stop. Keep your eye on your goal. Press on to the top. For only on top can we see the whole view. Can we see what we've done and what we can do? Can we then have a vision to seek something new? Press on and follow your dream. To be or not to be? The answer? Simple, of course. To be. It means to take the chance. Chance and find the individual within. Chance and gain knowledge. Try standing on that mountain peak to view the whole world and all it offers. If you fall, climb back up. Don't travel down the easy road in life. That's boring and so predictable. The easy route will never let you experience the joy of becoming a unique individual. Instead, travel the alleyways, the bike paths, the mountain paths. Take a plane, a train, or even a submarine. Travel those underground tunnels, or even take a parachute. Listen to yourself, your instinct, because it's your decision. The future is unknown, but we must gather courage within to illuminate the path to find what is waiting for us. Do you still question to be? Class 1991, take the chance and be all you can be. The world is waiting for you. Thank you. I'd now like to present Jessica Olson. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the glory of friendship is not the outstretched hand, nor the kindly smile, nor the joy of companionship. It is the spirited inspiration that comes to one when he discovers that someone else believes in him and is willing to trust him. Friendship has been a major part of growing up and will continue to be for the extent of our lives. Friends have helped create who we are. They have listened to our dreams and helped establish our future pursuits we will soon be seeking. We are discovering our friends' plans and ours do not necessarily coincide, and we're finding ourselves torn between the excitement of moving on and the sorrow of what we may be leaving behind. Friends have helped make our high school years unique and ones to cherish. Changing with our interests, our friends have changed, from year to year, season to season, and in some cases, day to day. With these changes, we have to keep in mind an old Chinese proverb. There are plenty of acquaintances in the world, but very, very few friends. Being a friend is
the most difficult and demanding role a person can assume, but it is also the most rewarding. When I look back on the past few weeks, I was not concerned about obtaining those last bits of seemingly unimportant information from the frustrated teachers. No, my thoughts, along with many of yours, were with our friends, how much time we have left, and we were also afraid of the relationships that we might be losing. But we have to keep in mind what Seals and Cross says. The love in our friendships, like the autumn sun, may seem like they're dying, but they've only just begun. Emerson once said, a true friend is someone who can make us do what we can, accepting the good with the bad, the laugh with the tears. It's all part of any relationship. Always remembering respect and individuality, we need to help build each other up and believe in each other, so in turn, we can believe in ourselves. Our friends have not only been our peers, they have also been our parents, teachers, and administrators. Each one has added his or her own wire connection to our complicated network. Try not to leave here today without saying thank you to those individuals who have helped you along the way. And that is exactly what I want to do. Thank you to the dads, moms, brothers, and sisters who have put up with our stress attacks at home and have supported us through everything. Thank you to the faculty and staff for making Richfield High School a place where dreams are created to be fulfilled. Thank you, Jesus, who is the model friend, whose footprints are beside each and every one of us, every step, every day of our lives. And thank you to all my friends for being there to listen, laugh, and cry with me. Believe me, I am ready to graduate, but my eyes are filled with tears numerous times as I write in yearbooks, talk about next year, and at baccalaureate. I'll never forget when my calculus teacher said to me something about graduation, and I shouted in joyous celebration. His reaction to my outburst was, I'll bet you'll be the first one crying at graduation. And I said, of course, but that doesn't mean that I'm not ready to move on. In reality, I know I may never see many of you again, and some I have not even had the opportunity to befriend. But I know next year we will all be making new friends as our lives continue to evolve. A poem by Joseph Perry summarizes this idea well. Make new friends, but keep the old. Those are silver, these are gold. Friendships that have stood the test, time and change, are surely best. Brow may wrinkle, hair grow gray. Friendship never knows decay. But old friends, alas, may die. New friends must their place supply. Cherish friendships in your breast. New is good, but old is best. When we return to our reunions, I hope each of you is able to say, you followed your dreams, remembered your friends, and discovered happiness. Then, and only then from your heart, will you be able to say to those friends, in the words of Susan Polis Schultz, I haven't seen you in a while, yet I often imagine all your expressions. I haven't spoken to you recently, yet times I hear your thoughts. Good friends must not always be together. It is the feeling of oneness when distant proves a lasting friendship. Class of 1991, we may never pass this way again, but take that attitude and love of acceptance that you have acquired and leave here tonight willing to take the chance. I sure hope you're ready, because it's our time to shine. The world awaits and the future is ours. Thank you.
my pleasure to announce that the 5 recipients, they're not in alphabetical order, so don't give up if your name is not mentioned when you're expected. Jason Hudova, Julie Knudsen, Bridget Ram, Jennifer Vanetta, and John Burt. Congratulations to you two.
Congratulations. In recognition of exemplary achievement, your program signifies those students who are graduating with a 4-year cumulative A average. These students comprise the senior class Scholastic Honors Group. At this time, I would like to have them stand for recognition. Would the Senior Honors Group please stand? Each year, we also have recognized a student who has completed his or her studies and ranks #1 in the senior class. This year, the #1 student has finished his 4 years at Richfield High School with a straight A average while enrolled in our most challenging courses. Mr. David Lewis, would you please stand? Congratulations. Please stand up. We'd like to recognize you. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Lowell Larson, Superintendent of Richfield Public Schools, to present the 1991 graduating class to Mrs. Nancy Rowley and Mr. Roger Stern of the Board of Education for the awarding of diplomas. Please refrain from applauding the individual students during the awarding of the diplomas. We will recognize the entire group at the conclusion of the awarding ceremony. Assisting Mrs. Rowley and Mr. Stern and assisting our graduates are Richfield High School students Ryan Davis, Melissa Evenstead, Phil Rechek, and Sarah Steedson. Names will be announced by our Dean of Students, Mr. Dale Strom, and Assistant Principal, Mr. James Hare. Mr. Larson.
Members of the Board of Education, parents, relatives, school staff, and friends, it is my honor to present to you the class of 1991, the 36th class to graduate from Richfield High School. Those of you who have had a part in helping these young people to reach this important goal richly deserve the feelings of pride you now have. We who are associated with the schools share that pride and thank you for your support as we, together, have tried to provide an education which would be both challenging and appropriate for each person. Mr. Stern, Mrs. Rowley, I present to you the 303 members of the class of 1991. Each has met all of the requirements for graduation specified by the state of Minnesota and by the Richfield Board of Education. They are ready to receive their diplomas and to join more than 19,000 previous Richfield graduates who have gone through this ceremony. My best to each graduate.
Jane Allen Allstrand.
Karen Michelle Olfen.
Dana Renee Anderson.
Nicole Renee Anderson.
Karen Marie Antonison.
Brandy A. Armstrong.
Andy L. Arnold.
Dennis Milo Avey.
Kristen Marie Bonner.
Daniel Arthur Bailey.
Alfred Lee Baker, Jr.
Amy Marie Baker.
Tanya Lee Balmer.
Jessica Lee Barnes.
Shelley Ann Bardich.
Scott Andrew Beck.
Christopher Paul Bedore.
Eric W. Bellick.
Robert J. Berg.
Jody Ann Bizat.
Bridget Elizabeth Bjerke.
Christina Ann Bjorkman.
Bradley J. Blickfeld.
Kimberly Ann Bowles.
Daniel Mark Bowe.
Janae Marie Boothroyd.
Sharon Ann Bowens.
Britt Marie Bowers.
Heather Lee Bulow.
John Michael Burt.
Karen Serena Butek.
Carvin F. Bazell Jr.
Nicole Ray Carey.
Aaron J. Carlson.
Todd Matthew Carlson.
Amos Casey.
Umpon Johnson.
Amy Grace Chenevert.
Chris Andrew Klebachek.
Christine Dorr Plainite.
Carlos Fernand Connell.
Amy Lynn Lewis Conrad.
Brett William Cope.
David A. Crow.
Elizabeth Robin Cully.
Heidi Ann Dawson.
David A. Denuser.
Kelly Christine Deck.
Kevin Allen DeRozier.
Leah Joy Newberry.
Derek G. Deason.
Darcy Lynn Dubick.
Brett Robert Dreyer.
Brian Allen Duchesne.
Jason Andrew Warshak.
Kate Elizabeth Taylor Edwards.
David Robert Elson.
Dana Jean Erickson.
Sherry Lynn Fairbairn.
Amanda L. Farnsworth.
Christopher Michael Felder.
Joanne K. Ferguson.
Kurt Von Messler.
Tricia Lee Polk.
Jennifer Joy Forsberg.
Aaron C. Fulkerson.
Sandra Jean Gabrielson.
Christopher John Garsky.
Leon Anthony Garvis.
Sonia Isabel Garza.
Robert R. Gerber.
Peter James Gilbertson.
Amy Lee Gillespie.
Mary Sue E. Gleason.
Patricia Jean Gober.
Garrick Ronald Graham.
Heidi Jo Riggs.
Thomas W. Grubbs.
Gerald Charles Krasinski.
Joseph James Groupie.
Robert C. Golden.
Corey Jean Hagenson.
Michael Thomas Hatley.
Chad Michael Halber.
Brad J. Alderson.
Linda Gail Halliday.
Nicole Diane Halsey.
Anne Marie Halverson.
Peter Lloyd Hammerlin.
Tracy W. Hammond.
Scott Thomas Hanlon.
Jennifer D. Hanneman.
Heather Marie Hanson.
Kara Michelle Hanson.
Michelle Lee Hanson.
Jason Jeffrey Hardy.
Sarah Louise Hartman.
William Joseph Helmer.
Julie Christine Hendricks.
Darby J. Hendrickson.
Scott Andrew Herman.
Manuel David Glenn Hernandez.
James Allen Hershey.
James F. Hines Jr.
Krista Marie Hirabayashi.
William Harvey Jordis Jr.
John Robert Holt.
Tracy Joe Hoskin.
Jason Frederick Hoskins.
Cynthia L. Holton.
Jason Edward Cadova.
Oliver Carl Huff.
Belinda Joan Hugo.
Lori Sarah Hussman.
Mitchell Lee Jacobson.
Jessica Andrea Jeanette.
Ellen Marie Jensen.
Jonah Scott Jensen.
Angela Dawn Johnson.
Brenton James Johnson.
Bridget Louise Johnson.
Daniel G. Johnson.
Derek Johnson.
Jennifer Lynn Johnson.
Marjorie Ann Johnson.
Stephen Martin Johnson.
Todd Jeffrey Johnson.
Tony Lee Johnson.
Ryan Charles Jones.
Peter Brandon Jost.
Jason Roger Joyner.
Douglas J. Carls.
Casey Denise Kenyon.
Christine Marie Kimler.
Carrie Lynn Ray Clement.
Kelly LeMay Knowles.
Julie Marie Knudsen.
Pauline Joy Kolb.
Paul W. Cole.
Daniel John Koziel.
Christy Jill Grinhoff.
Gretchen Marie Kritzman.
Michelle Ann Crone.
Robert Anton Krulich.
Yelena Privatsky.
Tori John Lemonis.
Troy A. Landberg.
Angela Michelle Langsdorf.
Corey Lee Larson.
Matthew Douglas Leviton.
David A. Lewis.
Dennis Anthony Lewis.
Mark Allen Lewis.
Jason E. Link.
Karen L. Lindstrom.
Kristen Ann Lindstrom.
Sean Mizrahi.
Young Jin Liu.
Thomas Eugene Lucy.
Ben Jason Lundgren.
Teen Min Lai.
Mark Allen Moffett.
Brian John Mackey.
Darith Manicoe.
Scott Michael Manley.
Craig Allen Marcotte.
Jeffrey R. Marks.
Chet Thomas Masteller.
Erica Jane Mascow.
Teresa Ann McCune.
Rachel Marie Maidenwald.
Carrie Lynn Melismo.
Stephen E. Maryland.
Ann Elizabeth Messerly.
Kristen Erica Meyer.
Stephanie Lynn Miller.
Lionel Antone Moore.
Stephen James Munson.
Timothy Brian Murphy.
Julie Lynn Musselman.
Lori Michelle Nelson.
Tanya Elise Nelson.
Michael Scott Nervick.
Brian Michael Newfield.
Chow Nguyen.
Joe Niaz.
Heidi Christine Neeson.
Scott Christopher Nowak.
Ryan Charles North.
Joseph Vincent Novak.
Patricia Ann O'Brien.
Jennifer Lisa Ochala.
Martha Ann Olson.
Diana Lynn Olson.
Jessica Joy Olson.
Scott Christopher Olson.
Sean M. Olson.
Christina Lynn Opsett.
Ryan K. Patsnick.
Carrie Ann Havlicek.
Christine Marie Pavlicek.
Carl Wallace Pearson.
Melissa M. Pearson.
Craig David Peterson.
Curtis John Peterson.
Aki P. Peterson.
Tung T. Baum.
Kale Pursue Ani Montalban.
Vilasak Sak Pomachan.
Kathy Jo Taylor.
Leslie Leanne Pugh.
Amy June Quick.
Pauline Joanne Ron.
Jesse S. Raines.
Bridget Louise Ram.
Scott A. Rataj.
Matthew J. Reed.
Mary Elizabeth Rindell.
Jeffrey Allen Griesdorf.
Stacy Lynn Rice.
Scott M. Riley.
Amy Lynn Remarsik.
Brian Thomas Ritchie.
Melissa M. Brocchio.
Beverly Ann Rogoski.
Daniel Scott Ronkin.
Lee Ann Ronning.
Lisa Marie Rounds.
Amy Elizabeth Stable.
Chad Philip Sapp.
Kenny Samotri.
Peter Samontri.
Kimberly Christina Sanders.
Chris Diane Sandvig.
Eric Floyd Savage.
Carrie Lynn Savage.
Craig Michael Schatz.
Cheryl Joy Shelby.
Jonathan Joel Schleifer.
Lynette Marie Schraft.
Carrie Elizabeth Schrader.
Mary Elizabeth Schultz.
Christine Marie Schwalen.
Jeffrey Roland Sells.
Joanne Elizabeth Sells.
Aaron William Sin.
Sandra D. Severson.
Heather Kelly Sewall.
Julie Lynn Sikora.
Andre Tyrone Shelton.
Kristen N. Shotwell.
Scott Dale Showalter.
Julie Ann Smith.
Julianne D. Snyder.
Adam Michael Sokolsky.
Michael Scott Spandy.
Charles W. Stein.
Andrew Thomas Stambros.
Brandon W. Stiggy.
Christopher Eric Steffes.
Matthew J. Stepnis.
Ryan Joseph Stacy.
Richard Roy Spraggy.
Lisa Jean Stroman.
Anne Marie Strochet.
Jess H. Struffert.
Chris L. Sundin.
Derek Allen Sundstrom.
Catherine Isabel Sutherland.
Ken A. Sutherland.
Jenna Marie Swaney.
Amy Joan Swanson.
Bradley Jane Swanson.
Deborah Jean Swanson.
Eric Paul Swanson.
Sarah Joan Sweeney.
Amy Marie Talley.
Julie Lee Taylor.
Justin G. Thurlson.
Cameron James Thomas.
Chow Tor.
Julie Ann Thornburg.
Aaron Reed Thorsten.
Susan Nicole Vandenberg.
Jennifer K. Vanetta.
Christopher Henry Vietmeyer.
Detsu Teep Dixbaum.
Tu Gorabev.
Joseph W. Walker.
Carolyn Gail Wolski.
Sandy Catherine Wallstrom.
Courtney Ann Walters.
Heather W. Warfield.
April R. Warner.
Jonathan Edward Weber.
Shane Michael Weibel.
Christina Marie Weiler.
Brad Edward White.
Matthew Michael Williams.
Bradley John Wilner.
Lana Deanne Whithans.
Ryan Patrick Paul Whitrock.
Omar K. Eunice.
And now, let's give the class of 91 a big hand. And now, to the class of 91, you have shared the days of laughter. You have shared the nights of sorrow. You have walked the halls of learning, and you've served a proud tradition at Richfield High School. Take the torch that now burns within you and light the lives of others in the very best ways that you can. On behalf of the staff and the administration, we wish you the very best in all that you pursue. And now, graduates, during the last 18 years, you have relied upon support and guidance from many people. But most importantly, you have relied on your parents and your guardians. I'm asking all of the parents and guardians to please stand at this time. Would you please stand? And graduates, stand and give them a hand. Let's stand and give them a hand. now would everybody please remain standing for the benediction by Father Michael Byron.
As we call down God's blessing upon these newly graduated young adults, I bring 4 simple invocations from the earliest centuries of our church. May God grant you a spirit of wisdom and knowledge. May He open the eyes of your hearts. May He know of the truth He has called you to and the richness of His love.